All right, guys, Shotty T here. We got another video. Make sure you check out that video regarding the predictions. I went ahead and put mine in earlier this morning. So I think there were only 3 or 4 of these elite matchups. Yeah, only 3 of them. So I was kind of forced to do the regular matchups, and it's definitely easier to pick these threes. So these are my picks. But of course, you guys may not have the same picks because you may not be in the same server grouping as me. But just follow those tips that I mentioned in that video and just pick wisely. All right. And we'll see how that transpires in a couple of hours. Okay, so what we're going to talk about, and I kind of referenced that in the other video, is that we are going to talk about Warzone Duel. Now I think I might have done a video on this before, but of course, everything needs to be updated. So anything that's new, I'll definitely talk about in this video. So the Warzone Duel is something that the game puts out in like 4 week spurts. A lot of times when there's a downtime in the game or sometimes during the season, but a lot of times you'll definitely see it during the off season a couple of times. So as I mentioned, this is our grouping that we're in. So we will be facing off against 261 this week, and then we will if we win, we will face the winner of 245 and 284. Like I said, I'm not familiar with 284. I'm definitely familiar with 245. I know they're going to bring it because they were always pretty formidable. But let's just take a quick look at 284. Oh yeah, 284 doesn't have a chance against 245. So 245 is definitely going to win this week because it's not even close. Like look at their power. So 245 is going to win. So if we take care of business this week, that's who we're going to face off against. And then on the left side, we have GDY. Well, we have 237. So let's take a quick look at them. 237 doesn't look too strong. They're very top heavy. They got 2 pretty good alliances, a good third decent one. But let's take a look at 235. I think they've gotten some people leaving their server this past season, so they might not be as strong. But that's gonna be anyone's ball game there. But I think the other server might win because of the top heavy part. And then we have 215. So we're just trying to get an idea who's the. Okay, so 215 is pretty solid. Okay, so looks like 245 and 215 are kind of like the big wigs. But let's look at 232. I don't think they're that strong. We faced them before, yeah. So my prediction is going to be 215, 237, 245, and of course I'm going to pick us to beat 261, even though it's not going to be easy. This is the layout of not like us, okay, Kendrick Lamar. Okay, I feel you. Let's look at this though. Well, they don't have anyone that's super strong individually, so that's probably going to give us the edge there because we got people definitely stronger than that. Yeah, we got a few actually. Yeah, we got like we got like 7 people stronger than their strongest person. So yeah, we should win. So we'll take care of business, face against 245, which is going to be tough again. And then 237 should beat 235 and 215. So that should be the final 4. And then whoever wins that, it's kind of like a NCAA bracket type setup. The winner of I'm gonna go ahead and call it. The winner of 245 and 255 will face the winner of 237 and 215. And then if there's a loser, then the loser face the loser. And then there's a consolation for third place and all that type of stuff. So either way, it's going to be 4 matchups over the next 4 weeks or maybe the next 3 weeks. So even win or lose, there's always going to be an opponent to go against. All right, so this is how you determine if you're going to be on offense or defense. And as you can see, we're on pretty good pace to be on offense. And it's always good to be on offense because it's better to be on the attack than be on the defense because you have to defend the capital and the cannons. So we'll have a chance to be on the attack. We're definitely on pace for that. But if you're in a dogfight, this is how you determine your invasion rights. So Sunday through Friday is the points race stage, and then the war zone with the highest points get the invasion right. On Saturday, the invader can head to the enemy's war zone and seize the capital, and the side with the lower points has to defend. Okay, so how do you accumulate this? Um, a lot of this doesn't involve money at all. Now, some of this just requires, if you have a big account, you might be able to fall into some of these, but some of these you could just pure effort. So Alliance Duel Victory, that's an alliance-based reward. And of course, we're not doing our part this week because the alliance we're going against has beat us the first couple of days, and they've been doing a lot of last-minute point pushes. We might be able to squeeze out a couple of wins this week to contribute there. Alliance Duel MVP, if you have any individuals that have the top score, win or lose as an alliance, that's 6,000 points. Apex Arena #1, again, that's power. So we don't have anyone that can really do that. Desert Storm Victory, though, you got Team A and Team B on Fridays. So that's an opportunity there to get 100,000 points if both teams win. So that's participation and planning there. I've done videos on Desert Storm. The Wanted Boss Total Damage Victory. So you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of these wanted bosses. I've already got my attempts in. As you can see, we're got a pretty comfortable lead, over almost 300 billion more damage dealt. And you want to make sure that you're putting out the right heroes to fight the right monsters. So this says that aircraft heroes deal 50% more damage. So as a result, I use my aircraft. This is usually my attack team for aircraft. I use my 3 aircraft attackers: Morrison, Skyler, and DVA. And then I also use Kimberly, and I use Marshall on all my wanted boss attackers because he has such good synergy to the team to give attack. And I'm almost at that 8 billion milestone. And then, of course, Kimberly, she's at level 30, so she's pretty much on every attack team. She's like my best overall attacker. So just kind of having that synergy there, because there's not really a 4th aircraft attacker that would cause this to be a higher damage. This is my best damage output team for that. So you want to make sure that you're doing your part to contribute by putting the best attack team possible, because it only counts your highest score when it comes towards the server-wide totals. And if you win that gives a pretty good contribution. So this is a server-wide effort result, 25,000 per day, 250,000 per day. And then if you're first place individually, again, that's something. If you have a big account, that's 150,000 towards that same thing. Now, this next one is everyone can do. So successfully plunder 1 hostile Warzone truck. So the easy way to do it is, of course, you go to the truck search screen and make sure that you're filtering out trucks from your own Warzone. We've talked about that a long time ago. And you may have to search around. And sometimes it's tempting to try to rob someone that has some really good stuff if they're in a different server, but you got to play the long game. So you kind of have to go around. Ideally, you want to rob purple or gold tasks. So if you don't see one that you like, what you can do is that you can pick plunder, go to their war zone. I'm not gonna attack that, but it allows you to go to their actual server and zoom out the map. I'm gonna try to zoom out until I can't see that truck anymore. I think that truck is just being, I'm gonna zoom out as far as I can until that truck disappears. Okay. All right, let's see. There we go. And then that way you can kind of look at the rest of the map to see what else is out there. So this person has a purple. Ooh, so this one has a good load. This one got 4 shards. So I'm gonna go ahead and, while we're even live, we're gonna go ahead and, so, because the truck search screen is not going to give you every single thing that's in a server. So you have to go to the server yourself and find some stuff. And that's the way you do it. You just zoom out the map until you see like a purple or a gold truck. And you just go after it and get the rewards. Only got 1 shard. All right, so we're going to attack that again because we want those shards. We want those shards. You're not going to get away with that. All right, we're just going to quick peep that. They got one of them back, but we got 2 shards out of that, so that's not bad. Got 2 shards. So you just zoom out the map, and then you just kind of, and if you see something that's decent that you want to share with your alliance members, I see 2 gold trucks here. So we'll just share that with the alliance. So we'll do that. And that way you can keep your teammates on track. That's a reindeer. It's already been robbed, so you can't really rob that anymore. Like if you see like it'll let you know. It'll have times plundered 1 out of 2. I mean, it's only 1 plunder left there, but this one is a clean one. Ooh, this one's another nice one. Well, we're gonna attack this one too. We're gonna get all of our attempts out of the way now. All right, we got 2 shards there. All right, we're gonna stop there. Don't want to detract from the rest of the video. So, but yeah, so that's what you do. If you just do that, you contribute. That's 100 points every time, and that adds up if everyone in the alliance, if everyone in the server is doing that. So don't just look at 100 and say, "Oh, that's just nothing." What's 100 gonna do if I'm robbing someone from a different server? But it adds up, man. It adds up. All right, retrieve first place in the arms race. Now, keep in mind, arms race, you may not always be bunched up with a bunch of whales. A lot of times, you're probably set up with people that within your own grouping that you have a chance to win. So my key is here: if you have a chance to win that day, go for it. Sometimes you might have other people in your server that are in it, and all it takes is just someone in your server to finish first, and then they'll get credit for it. So this mini person that's in second place has the best chance from our server to win my grouping, because I don't realistically think I'm gonna compete today. Now tomorrow might be my better opportunity, but not today. So, but if you're in striking distance of winning your arms race for your grouping, go for it. Okay. And if you get first place, and if you're not first, you're last. So you only got to get first place there. You get 2,000 points towards the server contribution. And then number 1 in advanced storm arena, again, that's if you have a top account, 500,000 there. So that's pretty straightforward there. And then you have your rewards, which of course goes to the participation when the Warzone Duel happens. I will be somewhat occupied tomorrow. Actually, on that morning, actually, I might even be on the road now that I think about it. So I don't know how active I'll actually be during this server war. Kentucky Derby's this weekend, by the way, so that's probably that's why. But yeah, and I'm gonna be driving towards that venue, or I can place wagers on that venue, not going to Louisville itself. But yeah, so these are the rewards for participation. But I'll find a way to get these boxes. Whether I don't know if I'll be able to actively fight when the actual fighting takes place. Depends on my server's reception. But you just make sure that you maximize the boxes, help your server win, and then you claim these extra rewards if you win. And if you go on a winning streak, these rewards multiply. So like I said, we should win this week, but our work definitely will be cut out for us next week against 245. But it does start with planning. So it's good to have a president that can communicate with the server to let them know. And I'm pretty sure there'll be some plans amongst the leaders in all the leaders in the higher alliances to plan who does what. So there'll probably be some plans going out in our server in the next couple of days. So we'll kind of start that conversation now. But yeah, so just make sure that you take advantage of this. Like I said, it happens every once in a while. It just tests strength versus strength. And this is where server unity matters. And like if you have a strong unified server, and sometimes the opponent might notice that your server is unified and they may want to come to your server after the fact. So these things are huge when it comes to building your server, especially now that we have these server transfer events that are going on. But that'll do it, guys. About to head clock in to work this morning. But let me know in the comments section who are you bunched up with this week. I'm curious to see who's bunched up with 251 or who's with 249. I'm curious to see who's in that grouping. But anyway, guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll talk to you later.